Sony confirms it's laying off most of the Destiny team and some of Marathon's devs. And this is by Chris Scullion over at the VGC.
The news was broken by the Destiny 2 studio in a statement on Twitter saying, quote, "With great sadness, we are announcing a reduction in force as we reorganize Bungie." It added, "As the leaders of Bungie, past and present, we recognize Destiny 2 fell short of expectations these past several years, following our final content update to Destiny 2, and with our future projects still in early incubation, we unfortunately could not continue operating at our previous size." Update, studio head departs today, and Bungie studio head Justin Truman was succeeded by Pete Parsons last year, who was succeeded by Pete Parsons last year, is stepping down following the news of layoffs, Bloomberg News reports. Quote, "We know this decision has a profound impact on the people affected, their families, friends, and teammates. While these changes are necessary to best position the studio now and for the future, that does not lessen the difficulty of this moment or the impact it has on those affected. Later, we will share more about that future with you all, but today is not that day." Sony Interactive Entertainment CEO Herman Holst informed SIE employees of the news today, sending an internal email, which was later published on the Sony website. Quote, "Today we wish to extend our gratitude and compassion to every member of the Bungie team who has been impacted and to those who remain. We hope you will do the same. Today I want to share a difficult update regarding Bungie. We have made the decision to reduce Bungie's workforce, affecting a significant number of employees, including most of the Destiny team and some Marathon team members. There are also reductions across SIE teams that support Bungie's operations. Those impacted at Bungie and within SIE are being informed today. Our immediate priority is supporting affected employees through this transition. We are providing transition support and, where possible, working to identify opportunities across SIE and our global networks of studios. I want to sincerely thank every affected employee for their hard work, creativity, and contributions to Bungie, SIE, and the broader gaming community. I know today's news is deeply difficult not only for those leaving, but for those colleagues and friends that remain. Please take the time you need to process this news and support one another. Thank you for your resilience and continued support during this difficult time." And I'm just going to start off by saying, I know he tried to, do the high road type of thing and make it seem like solidarity, we're all in this together type of thing. That was the most lame. I know Herman is probably like a sincere person. I'm not trying to lessen him like in his ideology, but this statement just rung hollow for me because it's like, oh, we're deeply blah blah blah, like all this. I'm like, dude, people got laid off. Like, again, I get it. It sucks. It's the business that we live in. It's the unfortunate negative side we have to deal with in this hobby that we love, that we call gaming. At the same time, don't make it seem like it's not as or it's less than what it is. Like, don't just try and belittle it like it's, oh, well, we did make profit, cool, or just don't make it seem like you lost some documents in a fire, type of thing. These are people who are affected.
Yeah, it's difficult, and I think at this point, like I want to say the last count was like 800. I think they're down to like 400 employees at this point. And I know that's still a huge studio. Don't get me wrong. But when you are literally letting go an entire team that's worked on the game that literally was the reason you bought them, and now it's like, okay, we have Marathon out there. Your
spearhead for this to guide you into this live service era that Jim Ryan had grand visions of.
Yeah. And now we are looking at Bungie literally collapsing in on itself. And it's sad because Bungie, like you said earlier, Bungie has been kind of the spearhead of what like first person shooters have, were. And then like, I know with Destiny 2, it wasn't necessarily for me. I thought the story at the end kind of foo-fooed me a little bit. And then, but it was still fun. Like at the very beginning, I didn't, there were still people playing and all of that. But to get to this point where, okay, it goes back to that management thing. Were we managing this team? Were we managing Bungie well? And
Yeah.
it kept being like, oh, we need to go in there. We need to, okay, they're laying off people. It's like, as soon as like you're having to lay off people, you should be looking at the managers,
Yep.
because there's a point in time where people get moved up into management and then they're ineffective because they stop being good at their job. They get moved out of the job that they're actually good at and being put into management, and then they stop being effective. And we are at this point that we are losing so much talent, and who wants to be a game developer and have to worry every day, am I about to go on Twitter or Blue Sky or wherever it may be, or IGN, or I get a text from a friend like, hey, did you lose your job today? Like, I cannot imagine living with that anxiety of, oh my God, I'm giving everything and getting fired.
And it's like you're giving everything at your job, and you have a lot of people have significant others and like families to go home to, and it's like they're counting on you to make sure the lights are on, make sure the food still comes to the table, and it's like, and it's, and even as much as people like to try and like damper a lot of situations, like I know that's the new norm, like it's, well, what they're trying to do now in some studios is like announce it to before the people even get wind of it. Like how some employees find out is like, oh, the day of the announcement, like they're not even a house meeting, but there people talk, and like there's like a lot of whispers. Some people get tips like, oh, they're going to be laying people off, and now that you talk about anxiety, the anxiety is like, oh, will it be me? Is it going to be me? Is it going to be whomever? You know what I mean? It's like, you don't want to live with that. You don't want to look over your shoulder the entire time. And even if it's not you, you're like, all right, this is going to be what happens in 6 to 8 months. Like when they have to do another round of layoffs, like, are they going to be looking at me next? Like, and it's that, again, you talk about like, and we've talked about it before several times. It's like, this is an industry where it's not fun to like, and you come out of like college, or you spend your whole life, like some people grow up wanting to be game developers, and you finally get the job, and now it's like, cool, you're entering it at a weird time with like, it's still in a flux of live service multiplayer games, extraction shooters and all that, and it's like, cool, I can still try and like put my foot through the door, and like make a mark in the games industry, and then it's all of a sudden you're laid off, and now it's like your job. I mean, I know you can make a case that no job is secure at any workplace, but especially in the games industry right now, you could be hired and fired in a month. You know what I mean? Like just because that you're a cheap cost, or like you're not as cost effective, and it's like, cool, we can afford to lose you. It won't burn us as much as we let Sally go, that's been with us for 30 years. You know what I mean? Is making, or sometimes Sally is the right cost because she's costing us too much money.
Yeah, and it's easier to replace her with somebody that is cheaper. We can get
it's making
two people
of what she's making.
Yeah, we can get two people for the price of one. And then you're like, oh, why is it taking so long to make games? And it's like, oh, well, you have to bring somebody in. You got to teach them the tools. Even if they've used the same engine that you've used, every place that you work with has very weird little tweaks. Oh, well, yeah, when you're in here, you need to make sure you change this. We use this code here. We do this, that, and the other. And it's like, you have the people that are just trying to get their job done, having to train new people if they do hire any new people. And it's like, it's just putting new people onto a project doesn't speed it up. It usually actually slows it down. You need to start a project with a lot of people for it to go fast. So and again, this affects Bungie. It does affect some SIE employees as well that were over the like Bungie side of things, like their communication between the two and all of that. And Michael brings up a pretty interesting point. It'll be interesting to see what the Sony CEO's bonus is next year.
For sure. But I also like not to foo-foo that Sony doesn't really share that kind of information. So, and really none of the first parties really share that. It's normally third parties that share that information.
Yeah.
So, but still, it's regard like that is a blanket over the entire industry, because it will be interesting to see all these studios, like, the North remembers type of deal. It's when you layoff, and it's like, oh, we made record breaking profits, and
Yep.
I can buy a 10th vacation home. It's like, I guess you really didn't need to lay off all those employees now, did you? Did
Yeah.
you?
Yeah. And again, goes back to the managers. They're not the
Yep.
ones that get canned. It's the people below them. It's the people where the trickle down effect only works when people are getting fired.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
Dan brings up a good point too. It's also a signal to those that remain to start looking for other work. Yeah. And I mean, this is why more and more places are fighting to unionize. And I mean, again, we've talked about how we don't really think unions mean as much as what they did back in the day. But again, you like the premise of fighting to keep rights in your workplace should still be had. You know what I mean? Like, and
Yeah.
however you have to go about that, do it. Because as we're seeing more and more, it feels like we talk about it every week, but we definitely talk about it every month. Some type of layoff, some type of crazy, insane reasons why they had to lay off. Some of them because of current market conditions. Like, okay, we know that you just don't want to take money out your own pocket to make sure they stay here. Heaven forbid you sacrifice a couple million out of your $1 billion revenue.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, I'm going to call it right now. It's going to get way worse, everybody.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. And I don't like, I know, like, I make jokes about predicting things and, all of this.
Yeah.
I hate to be like, it's not even really, it doesn't even feel like a prediction. It feels pretty like a layup. It's going to get way worse before it gets better. And I'm talking about way worse, because we have seen all of these investors come into the gaming sphere thinking that this is the way to make easy money. They get sold a bill of goods where it's like, oh, we're making a live service game. You've heard of Fortnite. Oh, I've heard of Fortnite. It's making so much money. I wish I would have got in on the ground floor, blah, 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 blah. So they've been sold this, and now it's like, okay, things aren't making money. For them to make money, they have to downsize stuff. And you're going to see a lot of investors pull out, which means less money is going to be going to developers. So there's going to be more closings. There's going to be more layoffs. And it's going to be not great. Okay.
No.
And I feel like talent is going to be very scarce. And we're going to get back to a time where there's not as many games, like AAA games, like big games coming out. And we've talked about it a lot. It's like, maybe we need AA to becoming a thing again.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say Clair Obscur is a AA game, but it's like you have that small of a team. You know what I mean? It's a huge experience, but it's like having a smaller team that can make something that is that good. Like, that's impressive. Like, it's going to get bad, y'all. Okay. Y'all just buckle up, because it's not only gaming, it's movies, it's television.
Yep.
Like all of the entertainment side of things, they see it as a money-making venture, not art. And that's the problem. The nice thing is, and I agree with Joe, indie games are the future. Like, you're going to see more people doing their own thing. They're going to start their own studios. We kind of saw this for a while in different places. You're going to see that more of that. They're going to be smaller games. They're going to be very interesting. And from the industry side, we're going to see a lot of IPs that have stood the test of time, and they're going to get milked like Star Wars and Marvel.
Yep. And here, and again, everything's cyclical. We say, oh, we're going to not repeat the past. And guess what? We're repeating a lot of things. Maybe not everything, but a lot of things that we said we were never going to do again. And yes, indie games are going to be the way of going to be the future, and more people are going to form these smaller studios. But what's going to happen eventually is when these indie studios that are like really pushing, like, let's just say, for the sake of argument, Compulsion, Ninja Theory, and Double Fine all get closed by Microsoft, or just like are not part of Microsoft Studios anymore. And let's just say they whittle down more and more studios over time to where it's just like Halo, Gears, and Forza, and then, whomever else. Let's just say they whittle down to 3 or 4 studios. Guess what's going to happen again? the acquisition wars, where they're going to see these talented indie studios and be like, hey, y'all do some great work. Y'all have some talented people. How about we buy you and we give you budget to make bigger and better games, and then we're going to be all through the same thing again. So it's not going to be indie games of the future. It can't just be indie games that are going to be the future. It's got to be make indie and stay indie. Do not like partnerships. It's like, oh, like your next game, we want it to be day one on Game Pass type of deal. Like that's fine. Do not agree to be bought. And I'm hoping that seeing these scares and seeing that, like the studio that made Concord, that I think it's Firesprite or Firewalk, one of the two, got closed. And now like Bungie's a big studio, but like Compulsion started off as a small studio, Double Fine, small creative studio. And now they got the big budget money. They hired a lot of people to make bigger budget games. And now they're seeing they're on the chopping block, or at the very least in trouble of, having to lose a ton of people and hollow out their teams. Do not learn this lesson. Do not let big studios buy you. You can partner with AA, like even Tencent. Don't let a big corporation buy you. Like if you're going to do this, if this indie surge and this indie renaissance is going to happen, you cannot give in to big corporate. Like, yes, we all want to make the best creative games and the best ideas and make our games look the best they can as possible and do what we all want to envision that the game wants to be, and that takes money. I get that. But don't cut your nose off to spite your face. Do not sacrifice your soul just to justify the means. Learn from this. And I know Microsoft, again, I think had they not bought, I would like to see the timeline where they didn't buy Activision Blizzard and see if Compulsion, Ninja Theory, even Tango Gameworks, would they still be on the chopping block, or have not been kicked out the door by Microsoft, or would they still be under their same umbrella? Would that $69 billion with a B acquisition of Activision Blizzard, how much did that really affect how these other studios are viewed and whatnot? Because again, everything's an ROI. Like if we spend money, we want to see something in return. It's not a free dinner here. So again, people who go indie, or if you're thinking about starting your own indie studio, learn from this. Do not sell to big corporate.
Yeah. Because you're going to get to a point where you're no longer, it's like any job, Derek. You're only as good as much as you can give the corporation, the business. And if you died right there in front of them, guess what? They'd fill your spot as soon as they possibly can.
Yep.
They're not going to
be replaced tomorrow.
Yeah. They're not going to just like, oh, well, we can never have another video editor. We'll never hire another, they replaced Michael Jordan.
Coder.
Yeah. They replaced Michael Jordan.
Yep.
When he retired.
The greatest of all time.
Yeah, they didn't say, oh, we can't have another shooting guard. No, they replaced Michael Jordan. They've replaced LeBron. They've replaced Kobe. They've replaced Shaq. Okay? Mm-hmm. That's just how it works, y'all.
They replaced Tom Brady.
Yeah. Dan has a good one. We'll move on. Strong men create good times. Good times create weak men. Weak men create bad times. And bad times create strong men.
Again, going back to everything is cyclical.
Yep. Mug Thief said in his video, I want to make sure I give people credit. Man is the only animal that will stumble over the same root twice.
Yep, 1,000%.